We're here at beautiful Tobiano in Kamloops. We're playing a team match at Tobiano, plus we're in a 20-man match for low net score. My course handicap at Tobiano is 9, and spoiler alert, I played better than my cap today. In fact, much better. I'm excited for you to see it. But
I did not hit a single golf ball today.
So I'm going to start slow.
Awesome shot, hey? That went about 5 feet in front of me.
It's a tournament, so no breakfast balls.
All right, partner.
We're 3 off the tee on a long hole.
Great start to the day.
And the second tee shot barely made its way off the tee box as well. We still have a long way home here. And we're still in some thick stuff.
It's so hard to get out of that.
Indeed, this first hole is turning into a total disaster. But there's a lot of golf left. And Tobiano is one of the nicest settings of any golf course I've played in Canada. And it has greens that are absolutely pristine. And our first putt of the day there is the only good shot we hit on that hole, en route to an opening triple.
Jesus Christ, am I going to do this all day? Partner, I'm not going to do this all day.
I mentioned that I hadn't hit a ball before starting the round, but I've got a partner I can't let down. So despite coming out the gate slow, I will turn this around in time.
I don't even think I'm going to advance this ball more than 100 yards. Let's see. We're at least going to give it a try.
I have a tee-ball stance here, but I'm lucky to put good contact on it. But unfortunately, it begins a common trend today of missing greens long. I was in thick fescue for that chip, and I'll still have quite a bit of work to do for par.
I was right the whole way.
That's another good roll, and I guess a bogey on 2 beats the triple on 1. I'm definitely hitting the ball farther here than I do at sea level in Vancouver. Add in the heat, and my 9-iron that usually carries 125 airmails the back of the green at about 150. Once again, I'm in thick stuff, and once again, I'm not able to do much with it. It'll put more pressure on the flat stick here. But that's a club that bails me out a whole lot of the time, and it continues to here. But I also need my big stick cooperating to shoot a decent score.
Oh, Adam. At least it's in play.
And once again, we've hit a terrible one. I have 170 in on a 350-yard hole, and I also had a tee-ball stance on that one. Around the greens, we're mostly still tidy, and I'll have a makeable par putt here.
It's higher on this side, so it's got to... Do you think I have to give up the hole is the question? I think I do. I think it's just like a hair out to the right. Okay.
It's the right read, but I pulled it a bit off my line. Thankfully, I made a huge turnaround after this hole, and still came out a winner today. Bingo. Finally a good drive that draws to the perfect part of the fairway and rolls out almost 300 yards.
Be the number.
And is the 9-iron the right club? No.
Adam.
It flies over the green, and I kind of flubbed this delicate chip here, and I'll have to size up this putt.
Yeah, I've got mine also going this way.
We'd love to stop the bleeding and finally get off this bogey train. And here it is. The driver woes, however, are here to stay.
It is going to work. Everything's gone long when I've hit it well, so let's just back off of it, I think.
I committed to the 8-iron here, because there's a false front on this green and I don't want to miss short.
Be good.
But this club carries 135 in Vancouver.
Don't know.
And that's too much for here.
Ooh, slow down, slow down. Boy, I thought that was a massively uphill putt, but it was not. I've got mine even a little more than a cup.
I took my time after a miscue on the first putt. And it paid off. We'll take one more second to admire the awesome backdrop on the par 3 7th. And finally we're committing to hitting less club here.
That does need to go. Go!
I thought it might be short.
Sit.
But it actually goes about 30 feet past the hole. This is a good putt. And after a terrible start to this round, we have finally rolled together 3 straight pars. 8 is stroke hole 1, and it starts with a massive carry over the cliff here. And the second shot's no easier.
So it's hard to see on camera here. There's a big valley, so this needs to carry about 170 or so.
This ball goes more or less at my target, but unfortunately I'll have a blind shot in.
Do I want to be left of that flag? Or... Actually, I want to be right of it almost.
It's hard for me to know where the target is here, and despite hitting the right number,
oh shit,
it winds up in a greenside bunker. This was a really tough one into a downhill lie, and I'm happy that I have a makeable par putt here. I thought I had it, but it misses by just a hair. And we'll take a bogey on stroke hole 1. Sort of. My opponents did give me this one, and I did a bit of stick handling before picking it up. Good news. We're done with bogeys for at least the next couple of hours. It's time for some nice easy golf. And if you keep it in the fairway on 9, you just have a flip wedge in. And believe it or not, that one landed next to the hole before spinning back and winding up short of the green. But I cozy it up and close the 9 with a par. I'm actually encouraged by the way I've played the last 5 holes after an extremely rocky start. The driver still has a ways to come, but I feel like I'm getting a hold of these greens, and if I can just mitigate some of the awful swings, it should be in the cards to have a good back 9 and still challenge in the match. And that's a great way to start the back 9. Although playing entirely uphill, this is a 3-shotter.
So you got 260 here, and we're playing smart golf, laying up 200.
There are conflicting analyses about whether this is a good strategy, but laying up to a full pitching wedge has been good for me lately. This is playing about 120 with the slope, and I leave it just above the hole.
Oh, and it's downhill a mile. Yeah, so basically lay this up is what I'm hearing.
And all I need to do is 2-putt this one to win the match against our opponents. We accomplish that, and are just fine with par. And this is the driver shape I strive for. It's a tight push draw right down the middle of the fairway.
Okay, 110. That's what my pitching wedge carries. It's a little chunk pull. It's going to work, though. Wow, what a great miss, eh?
And after rolling a ton of lag putts pretty close so far, we finally get one.
Wind hurting a bit, does it feel like? 45. Feels like a little hold-off 8-iron.
I don't know why this is stroke hole 4 on the card.
Oh, Adam.
I'm upset with myself thinking that I've pulled it left and off the green, but instead I'll have about 35 feet from pin high. And this is another good lag putt, and my opponent will give it to me.
Good. For a short hitter like me, I'm aiming at like the bunkers. You guys are going like left bush. Whoa, that was a mile offline. Sit! Sit!
It's a big miss, but I'll get away with it.
So I'm aiming at like the carts in the distance with a 180 club.
Even after the big miss off the tee, I'm still taking my time to pick targets, even on this layup.
Yeah. So I'm just going to play it out to the right of here. 126 playing 133. Really smooth shot right of the flag.
And speaking of choosing targets, I deliberately aim away from the pin here, because anything short is a bad miss.
This one isn't exactly guaranteed, though.
And after being solid with most of the lag putts today,
Oh, Adam.
this one is off.
Boy, I thought that was just a downhill screamer, but it wasn't at all.
Now my opponent's putting for the win.
Well done. Well done. This doesn't matter now. Oh, this matters for our net thing. Oh, I pushed it. Go in anyway. Okay, the guys are saying at the 150 or a hair left if it's good.
This tee gives you an opportunity to hit one 300 if you get the right line. And this time I'm lucky enough to do it. Nipping a wedge from a downhill lie is tough, and I have other ideas.
No, I think this is a bump and run. Yeah, I see the bump and run.
I think some golfers are too proud to hit this shot. But I saw it and committed to it, and it almost drops in the hole.
Oh!
So who's to say it's wrong?
That definitely was the shot. Right?
That's outrageous you saw that. That's a great...
So I've got this one like a cup and a half.
It's about 7 or 8 feet for birdie here, but unfortunately I overread it, and my opponent gives me the par.
Thanks.
This takes off on the right line, and hopefully it's the right club.
Be the number.
It lands pin high and releases about 25 feet past the hole.
Ooh, I pulled it. Pulled it. Pulled it. Pulled it.
But it's the right weight, and we'll knock it in for par. I'm 1 under on the back so far,
Oh, snapped it. Sit.
and the smother hook comes out.
Yeah, I think it's just an 8-iron hoisted and... Okay.
I'm taking my medicine here, and just getting it back.
4!
It narrowly misses our opponents.
So you have 189, playing 176. In to win, but it's downhill. Yeah.
I'm thinking I have the right club here.
Oh,
But I left the face open, and this one fades off my target line. The ball stops just short of the fescue here.
down ball.
And from that tough spot, I can't be too disappointed with this leave for par, especially given how I've played the hole so far.
Get going.
It almost drops, and we'll settle for bogey.
1-3-0.
We're up 1 in the match with 2 to play, and this one is right at the stick. It goes a bit past it, and I'll get a good look at my partner's putt for par here before lining mine up for birdie.
That was helpful, though. So I'm like a cup out then.
I thought I didn't put enough on this, so I immediately start praying.
Hold it. Hold the line.
It gets the job done,
All right.
and we'll do the ceremonial handshake, closing out the match. With the match done, I need to find some motivation on this tee shot, and I realize that I'm 1 under on the back so far.
1-4-5. Everything today is going long. I think it's we are in due, but this is a flyer lie. I like the club.
We've only missed 1 green on the back so far, and even though this is into wind, I grab my Vancouver 135 club, and it proves to be the right stick. I'm below the hole and roll a decent putt on this one, and we'll tap it in for par.
Nothing wrong with that.
And that's a pretty good turnaround today. It's not too often I go under par on 9 holes, let alone under the pressure of a match.
Sandbagging thing.
If I had to attribute it to anything, I think it was the fact that I stayed mentally checked in after such a rocky start.
Good putt partner.
I continued to pick conservative targets and take my time over each and every shot. It didn't hurt that we rolled in a couple of birdies on the back, and I'm very pleased to roll in a 78 after opening 6 over through 4.